First Jackie, then Linda, and now songbird Carly Simon is fighting the same enemy that took her friends' lives.
She just thinks it's unfair to get sympathy from the world just because she's a celebrity.
We'll tell you what made Carly go public with her disease. Exclusive. You heard her accusations of unwanted sexual advances from Bill Clinton.
What you're telling us today is the absolute truth.
Yes.
But we put Cristy Zercher to the test.
According to our polygraph expert, the probability that you are lying is 99%.
So what does she have to say now? She never liked sports, but now...
I love hockey. It's fabulous.
And boxing?
I can't get enough of it.
Why? This doctor says it could be that when she received this young man's organs, it saved her life and transplanted his passion for sports. Is Warren Beatty still sexy at 61?
You be really honest.
To me, he's just a funny-looking, odd guy.
Okay, Gary, but what do the women think?
I don't know, do you find me romantic?
And will audiences like Beatty as Bulworth? Plus, see what happened when this skydiving stunt turned treacherous.
Welcome to Inside Edition. I'm Deborah Norville. It's a disease that strikes 1 woman in 8 in this country, and now another female celebrity has been diagnosed with breast cancer. As April Wilson tells us, Carly Simon is undergoing chemotherapy for the disease, and she says the prognosis is good.
Nobody does it better than Carly Simon. For close to 3 decades, her unforgettable voice has remained a powerful force in music. So bewildering. But for the last 6 months, Simon has put her music on hold to face her biggest challenge yet, breast cancer. Carly says a malignant tumor was removed from her breast and that her doctors are optimistic about her condition. Carly, who recently released this music video, says she feels stronger and more vital than ever.
The prognosis was so good, she says, that her doctor gave her the option of whether or not to have chemotherapy. She decided to play it safe and go through the regimen, and she now has about 2 more treatments left.
Carly, seen here in September, just 1 month before her diagnosis, wasn't planning on going public with her condition until she learned that a tabloid paper was exaggerating a story about her health. Journalist Betty Rollin wrote the bestseller First You Cry about her own battle with breast cancer.
It's hard on the famous person because they're getting a lot of attention at a moment when I'm sure they just as soon be alone. 'Cause I haven't got time for the pain.
Carly says she's always thought of herself as a warrior, and cancer is just another battle. I haven't the need for the pain.
She went out and bought a bunch of wigs, thinking that she was going to lose all her hair, but she's hung on to her famous mane.
In recent years, the tragedy of cancer has hit home for Simon. In 1994, Jackie Kennedy Onassis, who helped Carly get into publishing with a line of children's books, died of lymphoma. And just a few weeks ago, Carly was heartbroken over the passing of Linda McCartney.
She and Linda had been friends when the news came that Linda had passed away. She was just crushed by that.
Carly says her ex-husband, singer James Taylor, has been wonderful about calling to check in on her and their 2 kids. But Carly says her heart breaks for others who are suffering worse than she.
She just thinks it's unfair to get sympathy from the world just because she's a celebrity.
Breast cancer is the 2nd leading killer of women in this country. Carly Simon says that when she's ready, she does want to help raise money for research as well as raise awareness of the disease. In Toronto, participants at a local college celebration got a little more than they bargained for when an aerial show by the Canadian Forces Skyhawk skydiving team didn't quite go as planned. Scott Rappaport tells us what happened.
After a fun-filled afternoon of stunts, it was time for the grand finale of the day as members of the Canadian Forces Skyhawk skydiving team descended in a diamond formation. Then the unexpected happened. Two of the skydivers, Mike Mountain and Kenneth Nunn, became entangled when the wind blew them together as they broke from their formation.
All of a sudden, the wind will come from their back. They're facing into the wind, and then all of a sudden the wind will come from their back and push them. And then at the last minute, he gets a wind from the opposite direction, starts pushing them farther out, and that's when they ended up too far over. They broke off.
They careened out of control and hit a tree before landing on a nearby school. Remarkably, the two men received only minor injuries and were able to walk by themselves to ambulances nearby and begin to think about putting their harrowing experience behind them.
Both men have more than 400 jumps to their credit, and we know this counts as a jump. We're not sure if the landing counts, but they're okay. She's one of the president's many accusers, yet when we put former flight attendant Cristy Zercher's claims to the test, a lie detector test, our experts said they didn't stand up. Though some question polygraph's reliability, many experts do believe in them. And Stacy Sweet tells us what happens when the test results came in and Zercher was confronted with them.
So what you're telling us today is the absolute truth.
Yes, it is.
Unequivocally, without a doubt, you stand by this story.
Yes, I do.
For 34-year-old Cristy Zercher, there were no misconceptions, no misunderstandings, and no doubts.
It's easy to say what you would do are the right thing to do, but it's a different situation when you're actually there and it happens to you. You're shattered.
What happened in 1992, according to Zercher, was a barrage of unwanted sexual advances, lewd jokes, and offensive behavior by then-Governor Bill Clinton, high above the campaign trail.
I scooted over a little more and he scooted over a little more. And then I just started to talk. And his arms were crossed at the time. And that's when he started rubbing the side of my breast.
This is just one of several alleged encounters Cristy Zercher is not only standing by, but willing to defend. So we decided to put Cristy's claims to the test, a polygraph test. She voluntarily agreed. The exam was administered in New York last week by expert polygraphist Bob Brizantine, a man with more than 30 years of polygraph experience. Our cameras were not allowed in for the actual testing, but Zercher and Brizantine agreed to the re-asking of some questions for the purpose of our report. They were not counted in Cristy's evaluation.
Are you lying to me about Mr. Clinton's actions towards you?
No.
We should point out that Zercher took her own independent and extensive polygraph test by a certified examiner last month and passed. A summary of that test was provided to Brizantine prior to his exam. Note, polygraph tests are not acceptable in most courts in the country.
Did you lie about the laboratory incident with Mr. Clinton?
No.
For nearly 3 hours, Brizantine quizzed Zercher,
No.
recalling all the indecent events she claims happened while a flight attendant 6 years ago. Brizantine gave us the results first, and he told us they were unequivocal. We took them to Zercher.
Do you want to know the results?
Sure.
According to our polygraph expert, the probability that you are lying is 99%.
And I think that's absurd. Totally absurd. I don't see how possibly it could be 99%.
He says unequivocally, no doubt, you are not telling the whole truth.
That just seems so bizarre. It really does. Because everything that I have said, I mean, the bathroom, everything happened. There were other people there. It happened.
Brizantine is the former president of the American Polygraph Association.
She's not telling the truth. I scored this. Minuses are indicative of deception. Plus is indicative of non-deception. In other words, plus means she's telling the truth. Minus means she's not. Of the 4 questions I asked her, the overall score is -7, -6, -2, and -4.
I mean, I said in the very beginning when I accepted to do the interview, I had no resistance in doing the test at all because I knew what I was saying was the truth.
It's important to note that Zercher says she suffers from several medical maladies, including anxiety, panic attacks, high blood pressure, and a heart condition, a condition she and her previous examiners say may affect the results.
Did you lie when saying Mr. Clinton fondled your breast with the back of his hand?
No.
We consulted 3 independent experts in the medical field about this subject, and all agree with Dr. Sean Harvey.
Anxiety disorders or medical conditions does not preclude one from having a polygraph examination. A good polygraph examiner will see that the person is anxious. We'll look through the person's medical records and see if the person's on medications, what medical illnesses they have, and adjust their testing style appropriately. They would still be able to differentiate a deceptive response from a non-deceptive response.
Brizantine spoke with Zercher about her medical claims and says he took them into account prior to beginning the exam. As for her nerves,
Could her nervousness attribute to a reading of deception, a negative reading?
No, I don't think so. It could affect in this instance, it did not affect the results, no.
She has high blood pressure and a valve problem. Could that affect the accuracy of this test?
No.
The results are likely heartening to the White House, which refused comment. And they were certainly disturbing for the former flight attendant.
What do you want us to know?
Well, I mean, I want everyone to know that I'm not lying. I mean, these are things that I've been saying for years to friends who know me and love me, and I didn't lie about it.
Zercher says that she is willing to take another polygraph. By the way, Bob Brizantine says that though the test showed 99% deception, that doesn't mean nothing happened. He says it simply indicates that Zercher was not being completely candid.
Still ahead on Inside Edition. Julie Shambra had to have a dual organ transplant or die. But when she received the life-saving organs, she believes she also inherited some of the donor's distinguishing traits.
Want to know what this city needs?
What do you want to hear, man?
How about a little action?
That's fine with me.
Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Tough on drugs, tough on crime, and really tough on each other. If these guys were running things, they'd get results. Danny Glover, Mel Gibson in the original box office smash, Lethal Weapon. Tomorrow at 8 on the WB11, New York's movie station.
Are you tired of running to the pharmacy, spending too much money for diabetic supplies, filling out page after page of confusing insurance forms? Then you need certified diabetic supplies. CDS does all the paperwork and ships directly to your door. And best of all, if you qualify, you could receive your supplies at no cost or at significant savings. You need to be covered by Medicare Part B or private health insurance. Sorry, no HMOs. Call today, 1-800-590-4217. That's 1-800-590-4217.
Hi, I'm George Foreman with a question for homeowners. How would you like $300, $400, $500 or more in your pocket after you paid your monthly bills? With Personal Mortgage, you could. Take your high-interest credit cards and other loans and consolidate them with a home equity loan. Look at those monthly savings. How much could you save? Call Personal Mortgage and find out.
That's 1-800-DIAL-PMC. Call today. 9 out of 10 completed applications are approved.
If you suffered heart or lung damage or other serious health problems as a result of taking fen-phen or Redux diet drugs, you may be entitled to a substantial money award. Make a toll-free call right now to 1-800-LAWYER-911 for a free consultation with a lawyer. Learn what your legal rights are.
To be connected with a participating lawyer near you for a 911 emergency, an accident, an injury, an active malpractice, dial 1-800-LAWYER-911, not a law firm or lawyer referral service, lawyer advertisement.
Throw it home! Mom! Dinner! I'll come in a minute. You don't come in right now.
Oh, none of the other moms are coming in.
Mom, it's KFC!
Gotta go.
Give Mom more time to play. Bring home this KFC meal with 8 pieces of original recipe chicken plus 4 Colonel strips, just $14.99.
If you clean your plate, you can go out after dinner.
Mother's Day. Isn't it time for some really good chicken?
When someone who's dying receives an organ transplant, are they just getting a life-saving part of the body or something more? Nanette Barusha has the intriguing story of a woman who says she is proof that she has more than just a physical link to the person whose organs gave her a new life.
To say 40-year-old Julie Shambra from Covina, California is a whole new person is an understatement.
I did crafts and sewed and, mostly feminine things.
But all that has changed. Now, along with her husband Jim, Julie is a sports fanatic.
I love hockey. It's fabulous. And of boxing, it's a violent sport, and I love it.
This is the story of how Julie became such a die-hard sports fan, inspired, she believes, by a young boy named Dakari, who she never knew and whose influence she now carries everywhere. Here's how it all began. Diabetes had wreaked havoc on Julie's body, and by the time she was 35, her only option was an organ transplant. Julie needed a pancreas and a kidney. She knew someone had to have died so that she could live.
I wouldn't be here had I not had the generosity of a complete stranger.
That stranger is Naila Karima of Oakland, California. 5 years ago, amidst despair after her 19-year-old son Dakari was fatally shot, she donated his organs to Julie. Then, 2 years after her transplant, strange things began to happen.
Before I told you, I would not want being alone in a room watching sports. Well, baloney. Now, you will catch me in the room alone watching whatever sport that I can.
And now Julie suspects she may have the answer. You see, she believes her newfound love for sports is directly linked to something called cell memory. Simply put, it's a theory that says transplant recipients take on characteristics of their donors. It's a concept Dr. Paul Persall has written a book about.
There's no doubt that transplantation is not a mechanical process alone. It is a spiritual connection that exists between a donor and a recipient, however subtle.
But if that sounds crazy, listen to what Dr. Persall has to say about other transplant recipients and donors.
A story of an 8-year-old girl who had heart placed right here. She said, I kept dreaming the name of the man who murdered my donor. How would she know this kid that her donor was murdered? She dreamed the man's first name and the weapon and location. They were able to find the man and convict.
Julie believes there is only one way to know about her changes. She had to learn more about Dakari, so we arranged for her to meet his mother. Needless to say, once their nerves calmed down, their questions began.
He played everything.
Oh my gosh.
But basketball was his love.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're not playing basketball yet.
No. I'm just watching the sports right now.
But most important to Julie was the question about boxing.
We have to ask you about boxing. Did he like boxing?
Oh, yes. He loved to fight. I mean, not in an angry way, but he was always wanting to kick somebody's butt.
This is amazing to me. And I have a feeling it was cellular memory. It was from him.
Whatever the feeling or the reason, Julie believes she finally has some answers. And now she and Naila are forever linked by a mother's love for her son and the love they have for one another.
You're the best.
Naila and Julie have already talked by phone since they met last week. They are now planning a reunion of all the people who received Dakari's organs.
Up ahead on Inside Edition. He was once Hollywood's playboy, but Warren Beatty's days as a sex symbol may be over. Now, will he make a box office splash with a controversial comedy?
That was really good.
Production assistance for Inside Edition provided by...
Next time you need a heartburn medicine, choose the one pharmacists recommend most. Pepcid AC, recommended more than any other brand. You can be heartburn-free with Pepcid AC.
Stay tuned. There's much more Inside Edition to come.
She said things turned violent in her relationship with Larry Fortensky. He said it never happened. Get the whole story on the next Inside Edition.
You're disabled. You can't work. You need your Social Security disability benefits, but you can't stand the government's long lines, complicated forms, and busy telephones. And you don't have to.
We listen to you.
And we get results. Call Binder & Binder, the only national Social Security disability advocates. We'll tell you right away if we can help, and we'll send you a free copy of our newsletter and our Social Security booklet. 1-800-66-BINDER.
The new millennium. What astonishing advances does it hold?
robotic creatures as lifelike as cats and dogs, smart roads that drive cars, computers small enough to fit inside a living cell? At DeVry, you'll learn about technology for today, for tomorrow, for the new millennium.
And whatever awaits us in the 21st century, one thing is certain. Technology will lead us there. And we'll all have two choices. Learn how to use it or get left behind.
For a higher degree of success, call DeVry, 1-800-423-7000.
Isn't this exciting? Treasure Island's new collections are here. New angles and patterns, new curves, textures and details, many exclusively ours. If you love this one like I do, you can only get it here. And we simply won't be undersold. So come see us at Treasure Island. It's a most unusual store.
Let me tell you about how UC Lending made me stop hating this guy. I used to dread getting the mail because I had tons of bills.
He needed a break.
I couldn't get a loan to pay off all those bills because of all those bills. Crazy, huh?
I thought so.
My mailman told me to call UC Lending. That's where I met Cheryl.
Me.
She actually came out to my house. And you know, she put all my bills onto one payment.
One lower payment.
I saved $300 a month.
No problem.
Now, with only one payment every month, I love my mailman. Even my dog loves my mailman. A little.
If you own your home, call UC Lending now and let's see what we can do for you.
Yo to you.
Later.
I was hoping for sooner.
Yo, could it be comeback time for Warren Beatty? He hasn't scored big at the box office since 1981 when he won an Oscar as director of the film Reds. Well, now Beatty's back, this time in a political comedy, Bulworth. April Wilson tells us all about it.
As long as I can keep you from going to the candy counter or the bathroom or wherever you would really rather be, I feel I'm doing the job.
Well, some say keeping them in the seats is getting harder for Warren Beatty to do. He was once one of America's leading sex symbols, and now he's hoping to prove he is still a box office draw in a controversial new comedy called Bulworth.
Later.
I was hoping for sooner.
But to many Warren watchers, the big question is the 61-year-old still sexy?
He's not a sex symbol to me, but then I'm a guy.
Beatty was Hollywood's definition of sexy all through the late 60s and 70s. But New York Post film critic Rod Dreher says not anymore.
We've got new generations of film goers for whom Warren Beatty, if they know who he is at all, it's as that old guy who used to date Madonna.
Well, this is a serious matter you're throwing, yes?
Why should I stop here?
Beatty's last two films did not blow up the box office. Love Affair with his now wife Annette Bening back in 1994, and before that, Bugsy in 1991. With Bulworth, does Warren still have what it takes to have a hit?
He's becoming more wrinkled, and he's always said that he's never going to go in for plastic surgery because he's terrified of knives. Well, good for him, but when you made your reputation as a pretty boy, you know, you live by that, you die by that too.
I like watching you move.
In Love Affair, Beatty was pitching woo to a woman 20 years younger than he. But now Beatty is stirring up the waters of controversy with the political comedy, Bulworth, and Warren feels better suited for the role.
I don't want to be a 25-year-old guy. I wouldn't know how to do that. And I don't think somebody else would want me to do that.
And Dreher believes Beatty's return to his roots with a political film may be his ticket back to success.
The buzz on Bulworth is quite good, actually. It's a strange movie, but it's really funny.
I mean, if you don't put down that malt liquor and chicken wings and get behind somebody other than a running back who stabs his wife, you're never going to get rid of somebody like me.
And Warren Beatty is betting that Bulworth has them laughing all the way to the bank.
You be really honest with me and don't spare my feelings. Do you have any more of the little crispy crab cakes?
Some critics say that part of Beatty's problem is that he let too much time pass between movies. But Warren says he's been enjoying his life with his wife Annette Bening and their 3 kids. And while he was enjoying himself, Warren Beatty recently turned down a role which ended up earning the actor who eventually took it an Oscar nomination. What was it? The answer in a moment.
Production assistance for Inside Edition provided by...
When your muffler makes a racket, Meineke prices are music to your ears.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
Stay tuned. There's much more Inside Edition to come.
Why are Hershey's Kisses so popular? Because good taste never goes out of style. Little Hershey's Kisses, big chocolate taste.
How do you feel loving a box?
Sears has boxes of every shape, size, and color.
I'll hand her a box in the softest velvet.
Fill it with emeralds and stars that will light up her eyes. No one helps you wrap up Mother's Day like Sears.
Introducing a new world, where a curling iron is now good for your hair, where the blast of a blow dryer makes your hair look and feel healthier. This is the world of new heat-activated Thermosilk. Thermosilk shampoos and conditioners have a revolutionary protein formula that's turned on by heat to actually improve the condition of your hair. And nothing looks more amazing than that. New Thermosilk. Where there's heat, there's healthy hair.
Not yet. Still not. Nope. Getting warmer. Now it's official. It's not really summer till you have your ballpark.
Only ballpark Franks have such a big, juicy taste. They plump when you cook them.
Don't you just love summer?
Try ballpark fat-free smoked white turkey Franks, made with white turkey meat.
So, what movie role did Warren Beatty turn down that earned the actor who took it an Oscar nomination? It was the role of the porno producer in Boogie Nights. Burt Reynolds played the part, and of course he was nominated for an Oscar this year for Best Supporting Actor. We're told that Beatty refused the part because he was concerned that the movie might romanticize the world of pornography. Coming up, Elizabeth Taylor's ex Larry Fortensky back in the news.
Bruce Willis, a one-man mid-air collision.
Frequent flyer mileage for you.
Die Hard 2, Friday at 8 on the WB11.
Treetops has always been beautiful, romantic, luxurious, an experience you deserve at least once. Now, here's your golden opportunity. For just $100 in your time at a 90-minute timeshare sales presentation, as many as 4 friends or family members can spend a whole weekend in the Pocono Mountains with winding forest trails, indoor and outdoor swimming, indoor and outdoor tennis, on-site golf, nearby skiing, and great outlet shopping. When you're back at Treetops, enjoy the fitness center and spa, whirlpool, restaurants, and lounge. It's all just a short drive away. And just $100 for up to 4 people for the whole weekend. Limited availability and some restrictions apply. Call the Treetops Reservation Hotline right now to make an appointment. 1-800-921-2220. Do call now. You don't want to miss this rare opportunity to experience Treetops, the perfect place.
Do you know what's in your ice cream?
The other ice cream tastes different, and it's got all these scientific things. Mono and diglycerides. Read the labels, and if it says only milk, cream, sugar, and vanilla, that means it's Breyers, all natural, and natural means made from nature.
Breyers All Natural. Taste, not technology.
If you've been hurt in a car accident or any kind of accident, you need a lawyer. Our lawyers can help you get money. Call the Lawyers Group. To be connected with a participating lawyer or law firm near you, call toll-free 1-800-677-2020. Your lawyer gets paid only if you collect money. So if you've been hurt in any kind of accident, call 1-800-677-2020.
Attorney advertisement, not a law firm or a referral service. Speak to a lawyer now for free.
Next, Inside Edition. Liz Taylor's ex, Larry Fortensky, arrested. His former girlfriend says an argument turned ugly, and he assaulted her.
He grabbed me and pushed me up against the wall.
But Larry denies the charge.
Larry says categorically he did not assault her.
Who do you believe? And you think you're in a private place, away from a watching eye. So why is all this caught on tape?
That and lots more when you join us next time. And that is Inside Edition for today. I'm Deborah Norville. Thank you for watching. We'll see you right here tomorrow.
Nature's forces unleashed. Hail the size of baseball.
Oh my God!
And lightning storms that paralyzed air travel. And wait till you hear what else is in store. Hurricanes. Plus, this fugitive gets stuck in the mud and has to be rescued, then arrested. Also, the enemy next door. What happens when neighbors aren't so neighborly? Shocking feuds caught on tape. And Nancy Reagan's back and battling for her husband's place in history.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Journal. I'm Michelle Dabney Perez.
And I'm Charles Perez. Glad you could join us.
Our lead story today, nature on a rampage.
Michelle, it seems no one is safe, not with El Nino on the loose. Now, in the past, we've brought you stories of wild weather and isolated devastation, but today it looks as though Mother Nature is wreaking havoc everywhere, unleashing her fury in all different forms, from terrible hail to terrifying twisters. Steve Gendel reports.
In Northern California, the town of Sunnyvale hardly lived up to its name as this rare spring tornado tore through the community southeast of San Francisco. 40 trees were uprooted. The roofs of 2 homes were torn off by the storm in a part of the country unaccustomed to and unprepared for such outbursts from Mother Nature. And it's not just Silicon Valley wondering what's happened to the weather map. In Florida, wind and rain, fast and furious, moved through the Miami area. Lightning lit up the sky, roads became nearly impassable, and then this. Hail pelted the ground and struck cars, some powerful enough to set off alarms. In the aftermath, huge trees were uprooted. Emergency crews were called in to clear them away. And at Miami Airport, passengers were forced to wait as flights in and out of one of the world's busiest airports were delayed for nearly an hour by the storm. One plane on the ground was struck by lightning, possibly piercing the plane. Passengers had to be evacuated.
A huge crash came down, and lightning came down and hit the side of the plane, right on the left-hand side, right where I was sitting.
And within 2-3 minutes, the flight attendants came on and said the pilot had ordered everybody off the plane to get out immediately.
Elsewhere in the South, monster hail struck in parts of Georgia and Alabama, some the size of a softball. Cars and trucks were dented. The National Weather Service in Mobile says undoubtedly some homes were damaged in the storm. And yes, it appears that the aftermath of the winter's nasty El Nino is to blame.
This is a very weird season. I think it's going to stay that way.
Mr. G, meteorologist at American Journal affiliate WPIX in New York.
This is exactly what El Nino can do. Think of this as a puzzle. We just completed a puzzle, and a Bigfoot came along and kicked it. That's what El Nino has done. It's kicked the weather map all over the place.
Meanwhile, the worst may be yet to come. When hurricane season arrives next month, there are some predictions this could be the worst in many years.
Right now, the thinking is that the hurricane season is going to produce 10 named storms, okay, 6 hurricanes, 2 intense.
But Florida and even Sunnyvale still have to be concerned about the present, with more rain, storms, and high winds still in the forecast.
Incidentally, the official hurricane season is from June to November. And the worst part of that generally comes in late September and early October. Let's just hope it's not as bad as the rest of El Nino's rampage.
Well, we'll change the theme a bit now and tell you a love story. It is the romantic and truly remarkable story of Ronald and Nancy Reagan, one of the most amazing in American political history. Their devotion has endured to this day as Nancy tenderly cares for her husband who suffers from Alzheimer's disease. And now the Reagans' life and love will be told through 2 TV miniseries currently in the works. For 8 years, they were more like a royal couple than the President and First Lady of the United States. But now things have changed. When you see Nancy Reagan in public, she is usually alone, as the man once known as the great communicator stays behind, his once facile mind ravaged by Alzheimer's disease. Nancy was back on her old Washington stomping ground for the dedication of the Ronald Reagan Building and International Trade Center. But this is not the only monument to his legacy. 2 TV miniseries are in the works about what many believe to have been the Capitol's greatest couple. One is authorized by Nancy, the other is not. Friends of Nancy Reagan said she was stunned when she heard about the unauthorized series. Based on this book by Nancy's former speechwriter, it reportedly will portray her in a less than flattering light. The series is being trumpeted as an unvarnished look at the Reagan presidency and Nancy's role in it. This person was a true insider during the Reagan's White House years, Nancy's former press secretary Sheila Tate. Here's her unvarnished look at the Reagan's legacy.
Ronald Reagan will go down in history as one of our great presidents. And I think to a great degree, Nancy Reagan helped make that possible.
The Reagans live quietly in California these days. They even sold their beloved ranch. It seems Nancy Reagan is doing her best to simplify life in troubled times.
She prefers not to travel. She prefers to stay close to home and be with him.
He lives a good life. And
Maureen Reagan has also known hard times, having battled skin cancer since late 1996. Now she says she is cancer-free. Maureen was in her dad's hometown of Dixon, Illinois, to address the local Alzheimer's Association and share some touching anecdotes.
People say to me, well, does he recognize you? Well, yes, but sometimes I wouldn't ask him to tell me my name. But what difference does it make? It's not about me. It's about him. And if he's having a good time, what does it matter?
Clearly, Nancy Reagan does not have an easy life looking after her husband. At least one other former First Lady knows just what kind of stuff Nancy is made of. American Journal caught up with Barbara Bush in New York. She had this to say about the woman who preceded her in the White House.
She makes everything so beautiful. She just was wonderful. She's a very courageous, strong woman.
No matter what happens, Nancy Reagan goes on. And no matter how the Reagans are portrayed in that unauthorized miniseries, there will be no mistaking just who was the light in the life of Ronald Reagan.
I wish he could be here to see this magnificent building. And I hope that Americans and all people who come to visit this glorious space may feel his optimism and take a moment to dream great dreams as well. Thank you very much, and God bless America.
The unauthorized miniseries will probably air next season on ABC. The authorized version has yet to be sold to a network.
Thanks, Michelle. We turn now to a chase scene in Texas where a man on the run from the long arm of the law only got a short distance from the police on his trail.
This man is a real stick in the mud. No fooling. He's stuck in the mud and he can't get out. But how did this happen? What's he doing in this awful mess? Here's the dirt. Police were summoned to the Houston, Texas father of five's house after a call about a possible domestic dispute. When they arrived, Russell Harvey allegedly tried to place himself one step ahead of the law. No such luck, only muck. The grassy fields into which he fled just sucked him in and didn't let go. R.L. Bischoff of the Houston Police.
At first, the observation was that he was hiding in the grass from us, but as it turned out, he was stuck up to his armpits in the mud and he couldn't get away.
At first, police threw him a rope from a chopper. He placed it around his torso, but there was no movement. Leon Sandals of the Houston Fire Department.
He didn't want to come because he said he was going to jail, so he didn't want to, we had to talk him out.
Ground forces were called into the sticky situation. Armed with ladders, the suspect climbed out of the moist earth and into the waiting arms of police. After a quick check of his pulse, he was promptly hosed off, and rather ticked off too.
I am not an axe murderer, okay? This was a simple argument.
Once the suspect was clean, he was handcuffed and taken down to the police station to face charges of running from the law.
We're going to take a short break now. And when we come back,
the surprising story of neighbors at war, and this is no street picnic.
Coming up.
The guy threatened to kill me in my driveway.
The enemy next door. What happens when neighbors aren't so neighborly?
He almost killed me.
Shocking feuds caught on tape. Plus, why will actress Tea Leoni and her husband David Duchovny spend their first anniversary in separate beds?
So we're gonna fax. It is the paper anniversary.
Michelle Dabney Perez and Charles Perez will be right back with more American Journal, Coast to Coast. Production assistance for American Journal provided by
Inventors. Invention Submission Corporation can help you try to patent your idea and submit it to companies. Call 1-800-288-IDEA for free information.
Neighbor versus neighbor.
Violent feuds between backyard enemies. That's next.
On an all-new Weigh-Ins, Sean and Marlon's boyhood home for sale?
$1 million for that piece of history.
How far will the guys go to save this old house?
What was that?
That always happens when kids get out of school.
Then on an all-new Steve Harvey, Cedric wins a pair of Bulls tickets, but there's only one problem.
We going to the game!
Wait! An all-new Steve Harvey after an all-new Weigh-Ins.
Tonight, starting at 9 on the WB11.
Are you tired of running to the pharmacy, spending too much money for diabetic supplies, filling out page after page of confusing insurance forms? Then you need certified diabetic supplies. CDS does all the paperwork and ships directly to your door. And best of all, if you qualify, you could receive your supplies at no cost or at significant savings. You need to be covered by Medicare Part B or private health insurance. Sorry, no HMOs. Call today, 1-800-590-4217. That's 1-800-590-4217.
It was the best thing we ever did. We got rid of all our bills.
0, 0, 0.
Today, you could start a new beginning.
If you're a homeowner, call 1-800-CHAMPION for our Pay Down Your Debt program.
Find out how you can have zero balances on all of your bills and save hundreds of dollars a month.
We're saving $300 a month.
I should have done it sooner. No better time, no better way.
No day like today. Isn't today a great day for a new beginning? When your bank says no, Champion says yes.
If you've been hurt in a car accident or any kind of accident, you need a lawyer. Our lawyers can help you get money. Call the Lawyers Group. To be connected with a participating lawyer or law firm near you, call toll-free 1-800-677-2020. Your lawyer gets paid only if you collect money. So if you've been hurt in any kind of accident, call 1-800-677-2020.
Attorney advertisement, not a law firm or a referral service. Speak to a lawyer now for free.
My big brothers, they were really something. I always went to them for answers, and they thought it was cute. Today, Tom's testing new computer technology, and Mike goes into laser technology. They both got great jobs after going to DeVry, so I went there too. At DeVry, I learned how technology applies to all kinds of businesses. In fact, I've learned so much at DeVry that now my big brothers call me for answers, and I think that's cute.
For a higher degree of success, call DeVry, 1-800-423-7000.
Welcome back, everyone. There is an old adage which states that good fences make good neighbors. Now, that might be true, but sometimes even a good fence is not enough to keep backyard battles from breaking out. And as we're seeing far too often nowadays, these neighbor versus neighbor wars are escalating in violence and casualties. Rhonda Guess has our special report.
Let's go. Give us room.
No questions, guys.
An accused killer faces the music, and yet again, the issue of neighbor-on-neighbor violence hits the headlines.
Police received a report of a shooting.
Kenneth Payne, according to cops in Shelter Island, New York, went to the home of his next-door neighbor, Curtis Cook, and blew him away with a shotgun blast. Police Lieutenant John Garish says Payne claims he was enraged when he learned what the man next door had allegedly been up to.
He told us, as well as we were already aware, that the victim had recently been arrested on a sex-related offense concerning a child.
Payne's isn't the only case of neighbor versus neighbor trouble recently. Other cases have cropped up in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and in Jay, Oklahoma. The old saying, good fences make good neighbors, may have been right on the money. In Texas, this quiet upscale suburb of Houston was the scene of a violent dispute between neighbors in 1996. One of them, Joe Sybil, beat his next-door neighbor Charles Van Wormer with a metal shovel. The beating, taped by a surveillance camera in Van Wormer's house, seems to last forever. Van Wormer's injuries were even documented with photos submitted to the court.
He almost killed me. If the shovel hit in the back of my head was an inch and a half lower, it would have taken out my spine.
But why did Sybil attack his neighbor?
The guy threatened to kill me in my driveway. You saw a beating, what I call my defense of my person.
So, how did this feud start? It all began when this neighbor said a fence was not put back in place after the other neighbor had it moved to put in a pool. Sybil was found guilty of misdemeanor assault and sentenced to 10 days in jail, community service, a $4,000 fine, and ordered to stay out of his own yard while his neighbor Van Wormer was in his.
I'm under constant surveillance all the time. I'm in a prison camp. He's keeping an eye on me.
Sybil even said Van Wormer had cut holes in his own house to keep an eye on him.
You can see a rectangular slot just to the right of a motion detector and just to the left of the drainage spout there. You can see there's a camera in there.
Sybil also pointed out that Van Wormer had been videotaped carrying a shotgun. Van Wormer said that the shotgun was empty and that he felt threatened.
My life is in danger. I've already been attacked. Mr. Silva is home, okay? Anytime they see me taking pictures, they confront me.
It's estimated that at least 60,000 neighbor versus neighbor disputes end up before mediators, but many times they're settled in other ways. Like this dispute in Portland, Oregon. The cause of this disturbance was said to be a domestic dispute between the neighbors. At other times, the dispute between neighbors can turn deadly, as it did in this Cincinnati neighborhood. A dispute between neighbors ended up with one man shooting to death another. Charles Cole had actually set up a surveillance camera on his own porch as a security measure. Ironically, it caught him shooting to death a neighbor over a dispute allegedly involving a tenant in Cole's house. The videotape was introduced as evidence and got Cole a life sentence for murder.
So sad to see and so preventable. So if you find yourself in the middle of a dispute with your neighbor, experts do advise that the first thing you should do is try in a level-headed manner to listen to and talk with this neighbor. Now do that early on so that your anger does not escalate beyond rational thinking later on, which can easily happen.
Good advice, Michelle. It's always better to avoid yelling at someone, because if you do that, you can be sure they're going to get defensive, and then things are only going to get worse from there.
That's definitely true. All right, we're going to be back shortly with more American Journal.
Including Tea Leoni, the naked truth about what she's doing now.
Coming up, they're one of Hollywood's hottest couples, but they're spending their wedding anniversary in separate beds 3,000 miles apart.
I'll be in Europe and David will be in New York, so we're going to fax.
And why Taya's kissing TV goodbye. That's next. Accommodations provided by Hilton Hotels and Resorts. With more than 400 hotels in 50 countries, Hilton gives you the world. American Journal will be right back. Coming soon on American Journal, foods that can help you feel happy and full of life. Veggie Power, the raw diet. Watch for it.
Come on, Pete. Better. Throw it home! Mom! Dinner!
I'll come in a minute.
If you don't come in right now.
Oh, none of the other moms are coming in.
Mom, it's KFC!
Gotta go.
Give Mom more time to play. Bring home this KFC meal with 8 pieces of original recipe chicken plus 4 Colonel strips, just $14.99.
If you clean your plate, you can go out after dinner.
Mother's Day. Isn't it time for some really good chicken?
Migraine pain. The blinding light. The nausea. The piercing pain. You may think nothing can help the pain, but new prescription Zomig can for most types of migraine. Zomig is clinically proven to relieve migraine pain after the attack is underway. That's the power of new Zomig. Get this free migraine information kit with savings on your first prescription. To learn more, talk to your doctor or call 1-800-856-3653. Zomig is not for everyone. If you have certain types of heart disease or uncontrolled blood pressure, you should not take Zomig. Very rarely, some people without recognized heart disease may have serious heart-related problems. So talk to your doctor if you have risk factors for heart disease, such as smoking, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol, or if you are pregnant, nursing, or taking medications. Migraine pain? Get the power of Zomig now. Call for your free information kit and savings on Zomig.
Hey, New York, what's in your ice cream?
The other ice cream tastes different, and it's got all these scientific things. Mono and diglycerides. Read the labels, and if it says only milk, cream, sugar, and vanilla, that means it's Breyers, all natural, and natural means made from nature.
Breyers All Natural. Taste, not technology.
Do you need cash now? Thousands of families have turned to J.G. Wentworth for money when they needed it most of all. For business opportunities, debt consolidation, and new homes. If you're receiving periodic payments from a structured settlement or annuity and need cash, call now. Representatives are standing by 24 hours a day to answer all your questions. If you're receiving structured settlement payments over a long period of time but need cash, call now. 1-888-234-9515.
Hello again. We're back with one of Hollywood's hottest duos, David Duchovny and Tea Leoni. The two-career couple hopes to be together more with the X-Files moving to L.A., but Tea's movie career is also on the move. Anastasia Galandi tells us it may mean the last of Tea on TV.
Mr. President, I'm not interested in using Ellie to further my career.
Tea Leoni's got it all. A starring role in Deep Impact, one of the most anticipated summer blockbusters.
Why? You were doing just fine.
A blissful marriage to one of Hollywood's hottest actors. And this month, Tea is celebrating more than just her first anniversary with David Duchovny. She is celebrating her new life.
Yeah, still honeymooning.
That's right. The honeymoon isn't over for Tea. It's actually just starting now that Duchovny and the X-Files will be moving from their Vancouver location to Los Angeles. Jennifer Pierce-Barr is the senior editor at Elle magazine.
Tea Leoni and David Duchovny, I think, are looking forward to spending more time together. Hopefully, maybe they will get to take that honeymoon that they haven't been able to take.
At the recent premiere of Deep Impact, they told us how their living arrangements will be different.
Yeah, I get to be in the house. Yeah. I get to stay in the house.
Yeah, and the dog's out of the bed.
Unfortunately, her TV series The Naked Truth was recently canceled.
No.
In a recent magazine article, Tea said, quote, "It's been frustrating and soul-depleting." She went on to say, "I'm finished with television."
I can't even think about it right now.
But for now, Tea will continue with her already explosive movie career. She's already starred in Bad Boys, co-starred with Kevin Costner and Wyatt Earp,
Which girl? I'll fight her for you.
and starred in Flirting with Disaster.
Well, what do I know? I'm just another 30-year-old woman desperate for a baby of her own.
Now with her new film and Tea and David's already busy careers, time together will be precious. They will surely be apart from time to time, including on their one-year anniversary.
I'll be in Europe and David will be in New York, so we're gonna fax. It is the paper anniversary.
But for now, the couple are just happy to be together. Will a family be far behind in Tea's new life? She recently told Regis and Kathy Lee that she's in no hurry.
I'm really looking forward to having kids, but right now I'm just looking forward to having David.
Well, it is a shame that they won't be together for their one-year anniversary, but Tea will be promoting her new movie, Deep Impact, in Europe, while David will be stateside right here in New York. He'll be hosting Saturday Night Live. We send along our wishes for a very happy anniversary anyway.
Of course, I join in on those greetings. And Tea, I like you blonde.
Either way.
We'll be right back after a short break and continue with the new suits on the beach, the tankini.
Production assistance for American Journal provided by...
Hey, Meineke's not just mufflers, they're also your one-stop for brakes.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
I guarantee it.
American Journal will be right back.
It doesn't look like makeup. It doesn't feel like makeup.
It's a new kind of natural.
New True Illusion from Maybelline. Some makeup can clump and look obvious, but True Illusion's exclusive micro mesh formula releases colored pigments differently, weightlessly, evenly, subtly concealing imperfections for a look that's flawless, yet makeup-free. Truth or illusion? New True Illusion from Maybelline.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Turn your tap water into wonderful water with Brita. It's certified to remove sediment, chlorine, and 99% of lead. Brita. Tap water transformed.
Not yet. Getting warmer. Now it's official. It's not really summer till you have your ballpark.
Only ballpark Franks have such a big, juicy taste. They plump when you cook them.
Don't you just love summer?
Hey, Fluffy, 2 out of 3!
They sure improved dog chow.
Dog chow just got better. High-quality nutrients and ingredients. Highly digestible to bring out the best in your dog. Incredible dog food, incredible dogs. Purina Dog Chow.
The hottest suits on the beach this summer.
Stay tuned for the tankini. That's next.
It's a knockdown, drag-out, non-stop thriller. Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, Lethal Weapon. Tomorrow at 8 on the WB11.
I'm Elaine. I'm a cable therapist. People want cable, but they're afraid they'll watch TV all day long. Couch potato phobia. I coined that.
So I tell them, you're no sopa spud. You control how you watch all the great stuff on cable. Like HBO's From the Earth to the Moon. Movies whenever you want them on Cinemax. Get a clue. Nick shows are #1 for kids. Lifetime is Girls' Night In. Save some for me, ladies. Take a trip to South Park. Oh my. ESPN, let the games begin. Can we talk? E gives you the deep dish. Turn it on. Now turn it off. On. Off. Gently. I say call 1-800-OK-CABLE today and connect to cable for only $9.95 when you take HBO or Cinemax. Just $9.95 to grab control of your cable destiny. People ask me if what I do is enough. When I see people become cable capable, I say absolutely.
Call 1-800-OK-CABLE today and see what you're missing.
Hi, I'm George Foreman with a question for homeowners. How would you like $300, $400, $500 or more in your pocket after you paid your monthly bills? With Personal Mortgage, you could. Take your high-interest credit cards and other loans and consolidate them with a home equity loan. Look at those monthly savings. How much could you save? Call Personal Mortgage and find out.
That's 1-800-DIAL-PMC. Call today. 9 out of 10 completed applications are approved.
You're disabled, so you can't work anymore. You need your Social Security disability benefits. Better call Binder & Binder, the only national Social Security disability advocates. 1-800-66-BINDER.
No more excuses. Zyban is here. Prescription medicine, only available from your doctor. Ask your doctor about Zyban or call 1-888-650-PILL to find out more. Zyban. Now you have another choice.
On the next American Journal, protecting your children during their summer vacation.
Tomorrow on American Journal. Looks like healthy summer fun, but something as simple as this could put your child's health at serious risk.
You could get hurt. You need to be careful.
Fractures, sprains, even paralysis. Now, how to keep your kids safe from danger. Plus, Julia Roberts' close encounter. See what happened when she had to be rescued from a giant orangutan. Tomorrow.
And now, in our never-ending quest to keep you up to date on the suits that'll sizzle this summer, Rhonda Guest brings us the debut of the tankini.
Nothing can replace the bikini. It is sexy and perfect for the woman who wants to show off a great body. But let's just say you don't want to show off too much skin. Then the tankini is the perfect solution according to Vogue market editor Gretchen Gunlock.
Well, this is one of the newest styles. We call it a tankini, tank top with a bikini bottom. And it gives a little more coverage. It's kind of athletically influenced.
This Gucci tankini is featured on the covers of Bazaar and Cosmopolitan. Atuza Benegar of Cosmo.
I think we're going to see him out at clubs, you're going to see him out to dinner, you're going to see them at work. I think tankini is going to do a lot for women today.
Vogue, with Elizabeth Hurley on the cover, devotes a full page to the tankini.
We saw a lot of blue, yellow, white and black always.
This tankini is really simple. I love the color. It's basic, it's comfortable. So it's good to wear, I guess, for everything.
It'll give you very weird tan lines.
Just go for the whole thing. Just go for the bikini.
You like that better?
It's proven, yes.
Well, with that comment, we thank you for joining us. I'm Michelle Dabney Perez.
And I'm Charles Perez. Please join us for the next American Journal.
It's your appointment with us. See you then. Bye-bye.